Is red on there?
We are now live.
Is red on there, do you know?
No, you should be able to join.
Snapping.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who have joined us, welcome. I hope all are safe and well and healthy. Thank you for your participation in this pandemic that we're all going through. During tonight's meeting, if you have any questions, please send them to
info@schreiber.ca.
info@schreiber.ca. Thank you very much. And so we will begin our open session with approval of the agenda. Any additions or deletions? Do we have any disclosure of interest this evening? We have no delegations. So resolution number 110-20, moved by Councillor Mullen, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that the minutes of the council and committee of the whole meeting held March 24th, 2020 be accepted as circulated. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Resolution number 111-20, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor Mullins, that the minutes of the special council meeting held April 1st, 2020 be accepted as circulated. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Resolution number 112-20, moved by Councillor Mullins, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that council approve the quotation from Simcoe Refrigeration in the amount of $4,200, excluding applicable taxes and freight, to replace the condenser fan motor and to shut down the ice plant at the arena. All those in favor? Thank you. Carried. Resolution number 113-20, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor Mullins, that council approve the appointment of Kim Osmussen, Jacinta Burke, and Lorraine Kay as members of the Schreiber Accessibility Advisory Committee for the term of council ending November 30th, 2022. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you, and welcome everybody to our committee. We certainly appreciate your concern in this matter and wish you all the best. Resolution number 114-20, moved by Councillor Mullen, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that bank debts paid out of the general bank account in the month of January 2020 in the amount of $44,043.66, and in the month of February 2020 in the amount of $31,253.42 be approved and ratified. All those in favor? Thank you. Carried. Resolution number 115-20, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor Mullins, that checks issued on the general bank account in the month of March 2020 in the amount of $415,646.59 for general accounts payable be approved and ratified. All in favor? Thank you. Carried.
What was the reason for that high amount?
Sorry.
Was there a particular expense concerning whatever?
General bank account? Is that what you're asking, Doug?
Yes, is it like an average monthly figure? I'm not sure.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
For the month of March. Okay.
All right.
I don't know which way to look. I guess I should look there, but you're over here.
Talk to them, you look there, but they're over there.
Okay with that, Doug?
Yeah.
Okay. Resolution number 116-20, moved by Councillor Mullins, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that bank debits issued on the general bank account in the month of March 2020 in the amount of $78,547.96 for payroll be approved and ratified. All those in favor? Thank you. It's carried. Resolution number 117-20, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor Mullins, that the Council of the Township of Schreiber agree to the full and final settlement of Grievance 1-2019, Grievance 2-2019, and Grievance 3-2019, and Grievance 4-2019, as per the terms of the Memorandum of Settlement issued in response to the Labor Relations meeting held January 30th, 2020. Any questions on that? All those in favor? Thank you, that's carried. Tomorrow, that bylaw 16-2020, being a bylaw to rescind bylaw 4-2020 and constitute and appoint a committee of adjustment in the Township of Schreiber, be given first, second, third, and final reading and enacted. All those in favor? Thank you. Carried. Okay, that'll bring to a close our council portion of the meeting. And now we will go into the committee of the whole, starting off with our department reports. First one up, community economic development. Are there any questions on that? Nathan, do you have any?
No, it's just again an update that our existing construction projects that we have contracts for are now essentially put on hold because of the order that it's non-essential. And again, we don't know how long the emergency situation is going to last and how long this order is going to last, and it could be that we may potentially lose this construction season. So projects that haven't been started, such as a pavilion, realistically it may be next year that we start construction at this time.
Hey Nathan, what kind of an effect do you think that'll have, if any, on our funding?
We had a conversation with all funders, and they've been more than flexible with allowing us to have the opportunity to extend funding into next year and so forth to accommodate our schedules. Of course, with any sort of delay in terms of schedules, there's always going to be the risk of more costs. That is just something that we just have to be aware of, especially when we have a project like the Discovery Center where they're going to be again looking at costs again, whether it's just for again the maintenance of the condition of the building as it is now. I believe they still have to connect electricity and everything to it. There's those various components and all, and I'm just hoping again that there's nothing that's going to be a major expense coming out of this delay.
Okay, thank you.
Certainly our first concern was exactly that. How will that affect our funding if we are not able to meet the deadlines that we laid out? And at this point in time, we feel comfortable that that won't be a hindrance. But as Nathan said, if there's any additional costs, we'll have to try and deal with that at the time. Thanks for the question, Dan. Recreation programmer report.
So similarly, again, there's a lot of event cancellations, program cancellations. Just as from what we're planning right now, we are again planning on full cancellations and postponing everything until probably the ice season beginning. So we're looking at fall to start with recreation programming again. Now, of course, this is again contingent on how long the situation lasts for. Hopefully it's not going to be that long, but in terms of planning for things like Heritage Days, we have to start planning now, and if we don't have that time to plan now, it's too much to take a gamble and spend all that resources into something that may not be able to go ahead. So
my one thing was, so let's say they lift the state of emergency by the end of May, the hall rentals and stuff like that, is that something we would still allow these people for weddings, and have we been in contact with these people already, obviously?
Yes, Evan has been in contact with people who may be affected and is looking into, again, rescheduling.
Okay.
It's...
Those would be the only thing I was concerned about, a wedding being planned in the summer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sure the health minister now would probably have a say on the get-togethers and how quick it's going to ramp up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
All the 3 class reunions are
Yeah,
canceled
those are
too
canceled.
this year too, so put it off till 2021.
And it's very unfortunate. You know, we don't have a crystal ball.
Mhm.
We would like to say that, well, let's hang on and, you know, maybe things will get better and we can do stuff. But when some of these events take so long to plan and to do them properly, I just feel the safest thing is to say no for this year, unfortunately. And hopefully it'll be bigger and better next year. Okay, next one up is bylaw officers report. Any questions on Karen's report? Continues to do a very good job, I believe. I'm sure her things could be a little more difficult considering the situation we're in and some of the different powers now that have been given to her to help us out with this COVID-19 situation. Thank you, Karen, for your dedication and hard work. Fire department report. Any questions? We certainly continue to rely heavily on our fire department in emergencies, and I'd just like to give a big shout out to them for the fire that happened here a couple of weeks ago and their involvement with Terrace Bay. We were told later that there was 2 poles down there that if they had have been burned, we could have been down for a long time. So thank you very much to our fire department. I'll already express that to our chief. And thank you to Mo Stark and Terrace Bay for their response and help in that situation. It's just great.
Dave,
Yes, sir.
I'm surprised when that went on down past my son Aaron's house that there wasn't an OPP vehicle down there keeping away all the people driving down there and kind of blocking up the road, you know, all the onlookers.
Well, there was a vehicle there, but they were involved with the actual event, so it's unfortunate, but you're right, there were probably far too many people down there that should have not been there.
Not a lot of social distancing.
Not a lot of social distancing. Yeah, and I appreciate that comment, Doug, because you're right. But I'm sure under the circumstances, they were doing their best, and it's unfortunate.
I was talking to Jan just on Facebook the other day about these drive-bys for the fire department, fire trucks or whatever. If a little guy or girl, whatever, have a birthday or something, you see them on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I told, I was just talking to him. He says, if that ever happens, Jan, feel free to go for it with our fire
You know who
trucks.
it is? Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
And put it out there. It would like brighten up your kid's day, and it's their birthday or whatever, and they're there, they're available, and they want to do it, and why not?
Very good. Yeah,
Yeah, and
that's great.
just looking at the report, it looks like the fire department is down by 5 members, so if anybody out there is interested in joining the fire department, then certainly an opportunity.
For
Yeah,
sure.
It sure is. I don't think we've been down by that many in a while. Thanks for pointing that out, Dan. Yeah, like you say, if there's anybody out there interested, please. We'd love to have you. Building permits and demolition permits, any questions on that?
Yep, no new construction. There really shouldn't be.
No, that's right. Occupational health and safety meeting, any questions on that? Then we go into the Aqua report on the Schreiber drinking water system. Everybody had a chance to go through it, and are there any questions?
Yeah, it look like that, I mean, we're learning every year, we're making changes every year to improve the water system. I just looked at the two reports and the grade that we were given, and it's better this year than last year. So, and that's good to see. And I think it would be, at some point, it would be interesting to hear from somebody from Aqua, maybe attend a council meeting. I mean, that's not gonna happen for a while, but it's,
That's a good point, Dan, yes.
I mean, there were a lot of questions in that report. We may have had questions, or we may been looking for answers on. So if somebody was attended a meeting, it would be a good opportunity for us.
For sure.
Yeah, and I really believe that water tower has really helped out this town in more ways than people
Realize. Even though when we realize, I mean, there
it's
have been events happened that we didn't know about because of the tower. It was all handled through that, which is what
A huge power outage.
it was designed to do, right?
It's gonna boil water out
Yeah.
of that.
just the saves that it's already done, and
That's
And,
impressive,
maintenance that the boys they can do
Without having to shut the whole
without
plant down.
right,
Yes. Yeah.
right, and it's only going to get better, I believe.
So the next one up is the drinking water system inspection report. Are there any questions on that? There again, I think very good results. And, yeah, there again, maybe quarterly we could ask them to come and,
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I was thinking along the same lines as Dan too. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting them the way Dan and Doug are tonight. But you'd rather have them.
soon we'll have it.
You'd rather have them sitting here. Yeah.
For sure.
Maybe explain to the people what how we're holding this meeting tonight. But
Does Aqua go to Terrace council meetings ever?
On a certain, I think, maybe on a quarterly or,
They kind of align it?
I believe so, yes.
We could certainly ask them, and I'm sure they'd be willing to accommodate
They
that.
have offered before, like, if we set up, how often would you like them to come?
Yeah,
I'm sure they'd be here.
seems like a good idea.
Nathan, would you like to explain how we're doing our meeting this evening? With online?
just with the two.
Yeah.
With the two counselors online and the two counselors here, but for signing and whatnot, and our social distancing.
I mean, this was again just part of,
New law.
yeah, the capacity that the province enabled us to have to allow electronic participation during declared emergencies. So only during declared emergencies now municipal councillors can actually participate, and their participation is counted as quorum, and their votes are actually counted as well. And this is how we're able to participate today, by amending our procedural bylaw and allowing us to act in this capacity.
Thank you, Nathan. It's a different world for all of us, and we're learning very quickly. Okay, question period. We have no questions this evening.
Oh, I haven't received any questions.
Then we'll go into communications. Anything outstanding for anybody? Doug, Dan,
Number 9?
the request for funding support from the Cask Isle. Yes.
I think it's a great idea, and I'm in favor of the $10,000 that they are asking.
Yeah.
I know it's a bit of a tricky situation when this is again the project that we were developing last year, and the fact that we were able to get a Win Ontario Trillium Fund grant was huge, and this along with the Trans-Canada Trail also joining in as a funder, like this amount of money to put into our trails, this was big. Unfortunately, just due to the delays in terms of getting the Trillium Fund on board, originally at first we tried to get funding from FedNor. That didn't work out, but this delay in getting the Trillium Fund meant that we couldn't do this project during the last year's construction season, and now of course we got situations with this year's construction season as well. But again, crossing our fingers here, and we're looking at again this between 10,000, and if we can keep this within that budget even better. If really what we need is $6,436, that is leveraging $94,000 in funding. So it's
a no-brainer.
It's a good bang for the buck.
That's in regards to the A6 project here in
Yes.
Schreiber,
Yes, it is, Doug. Yeah.
which I think is going to have terrific benefits in the near future.
Oh, definitely.
Great.
And if there's any resolution I'm gonna support, I'm gonna support number 12.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
And the request is that we support direct payment of federal funds to municipalities to waive property taxes for the year 2020 with financial help to alleviate the suffering from COVID-19 pandemic. They have quite an explanation here. It's all very good.
Yep.
So I guess at this time, all in favor of supporting their resolution?
I'm good.
And thank you very much. So Nathan, you'll send out a response to them with support. I think it's very good.
Absolutely. It looks like the government is taking time to respond to these requests and all put in, because certainly we saw some movement with regards to the time of use electricity billing, which was changed on the 24th. They changed it to flat rate off peak. So again, that was a move, I think, in the proper direction.
I think the crux of the matter here is that they would, because there would be so many people applying for this, it would be better if you sent the money to the municipalities and let them distribute it.
Yep.
Which would be probably a less burden and workload on the government. So I think it's a very good idea.
Very efficient idea.
Yes.
If it works out.
If it works out.
Anything else under communications? Then we'll move into our other business, the draft bylaw for the MOT 2019-2020 dedicated gas tax funding. Any questions on that, or Nathan, would you like to elaborate?
I mean, the main thing is it funds our handy transit, so again, it's something we do on a yearly basis. We get funding through the gas tax, and we have to put it into a very stipulated, spend it in a very stipulated way, and that really is our handy transit, so it covers that.
I think it's a very good endeavor. Everybody in favor?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And Schreiber Public Library Board appointment. We have had a request from Mr. Kraus to put his name forward for consideration for a position on the library board. He says, I believe that can be a great asset to the board and continue my work with the group. Any thoughts on this? Go ahead, Kevin.
Would he be in a conflict of interest? That would be my only thought. I think he would be good on there too, but I think
Yeah,
there might be a
agree. It
conflict
would
of
be,
interest.
An asset, but I agree with you. I think maybe we need to look into that since the funding for that position was given to the library board. I think it would be prudent of us to look into it to make sure that there isn't a conflict.
Yeah, if there isn't, then I got no issues with it.
How do you guys?
There may be only a conflict of interest in the board's business in regards to the media center only. And maybe you could abstain from any business in regards to that.
Good point. Dan, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with what was said, that maybe do a little more investigating and see if there is an actual conflict of interest before we make a decision.
Okay. If everybody's in agreement, then we'll hold that till the next meeting, and we'll gather some more information. But in the meantime, thank you, Kim, for your letter, and understand you are very excited about this. So we'll get back to you. Okay, are there any other questions or concerns? If not, then we will go to resolution number 119-20. Moved by Councillor Mullins, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that the closed meeting resume at this time. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for participating tonight and for looking in on us. Please stay safe and healthy. Thank you.